So, my friends, slowly step by step, we are moving to another journey. And how much we learn and educate our mind. We have to educate our mind. Higher systematic education of our mind will lead us to freedom. And if we are not educating the mind, we are educating others, it will not work. So look at this. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. So this mantra is a reminder we must educate our own mind every day, every hour. Why? Mind is with us all the time. Oh, honey, you should not behave like this. Leave this idea. Let them behave. Let them act. Leave this. That is not our goal. So when you are aware of this, then you start realizing the importance of this mantra. Mind is with us all the time in all locations. Our child, you see that. You see, example, what happens when you move from just go back. We are we are kids. We are studying in kindergarten, and the teacher says this is A. So I looked at A, the shape, and I said yes, it is A. We accepted it. We simply accepted it. So the Eastern wisdom to absorb into that Eastern wisdom, our mind should be free. Oh, no, this is what it is. So let me accept it and understand. So because I accepted alphabets in English, that is why I'm able to speak in English, write in English, read in English. So the very first step is to just accept. So after accepting, I contemplate. Oh, let everyone be blessed. Why I say that? So now we are mature seekers, so we contemplate. Yes, okay, why? I should accept. Let everyone be blessed. Let us enjoy together. So it means my mind, I'm educating my mind, I'm ready for it. That is the soul of these mantras. Did you practice japa in the last 2 or 3 days since our last session? Think. You are educating your mind. It is not a class in kindergarten. Did I practice? Terry was asking I should do with the right hand or the left hand. Do it with every hand. Don't follow any hand. Don't follow the ritual or, we put lot of rituals into it. We want to progress. So let me continue. Let me continue. Whenever I find the time, I remind myself why the mind is not reminding even after understanding it is either tamoguna or rajoguna. Why it is rajoguna? Because I am fully busy. I did not find the time. Now we are mature seekers, so we are moving ahead. We have to reach to the highest state. In the morning, I remember no. In the afternoon, I forget it. So now you will see that when you forget it, it is because of your past impressions. All the nine factors are working. The word is not, word is suffering. You have to think in that way. So sometime I always say that Eastern wisdom changes the way we think, the way the mind thinks, the way the mind reflects. Oh, you inserted me, leave it. It has gone. It has come and it has gone. Leave this. Next time you are fully aware. You will recognize that in the moments of laziness, hectic activity, the desire driven action is known as the binding desire. It will stop you to do the mantra. So, as many times as you remember during the day, so you are putting yourself as a seeker. Oh, yes, I'm a seeker, I have to do it. Otherwise, we miss. That is why I said. That is why I said. So just because now there is a self remembrance in our journey. So how to achieve that I am a seeker all the time? So that is why I laid the foundation. Mantra for Mangalacharan, four groups. So you remember the four groups of the word is suffering. I got engaged, I got absorbed into it, and that is so what is that? Attachment, emotional dependence, and intellectual paralysis. This is what the binding desire is. You can say either the word is suffering or the desire is the cause of problem. Somewhere there is some desire hidden inside me, and that makes me forget. So another name of the word that is suffering is the desire is the suffering. That is what the all you experience all the nine factors. It is the binding desire. What should we do? Satsang. Remedy is the satsang. You are constantly listening and learning, contemplating and reflecting. So your mind, you are educating your mind. The entire journey is to educate the mind to drop all the delusions and ignorance. What is left? What is left is the real self. So when we follow that, we have a realization or experiences that we have covered, huh? And then the self remembering. I gave you the principle of 4R. Remember, revise, repeat. Hmm? Then we have to check whether these four types of the intellect is working. The righteous intellect is working in action. Dispassion intellect is working. Love intellect is working. The real self intellect is working. Love intellect. Intellect is clear. It has no doubts, so to say. Then there is a natural affection to everyone in the world. That is why we say love affection. So, how it comes, we have already understood the power of faith, power of decision. Power of decision is sankalpa. To give you one example, simple example, that power of decision, you wake up in the morning and say, for example, you you see the clock that is on your wall, and the mind says, no, I have to be in a hurry. Oh, let me do lot of things. That is what the power of decision. Past impression is already there, and it triggers something outside triggers you. It creates a thought pattern. We have to check whether this thought belongs to satoguna, rajoguna, or tamoguna. You look at a person with whom you have some hatred, and the mind triggers because of the past impression. Home with whom you are attached, the mind triggers. We are educating the mind by when I say the power of faith, power of decision, And then the power of hold on the mind, holding the mind. Holding the mind is, in Patanjali, we say in the third chapter, dharana. Dharana. Desabandhasya chitasya dharana. What it means? You have in India, we have cows. We have a big leash, and we we confine the territory of those cows. Here we are. No, we have. I have just 2 miles away. We have 10,000 cows here. It's a big ranch. So they leave it open. So just confining the territory of the mind is the power to hold on. You don't fight with the mind. What is that power to Om Shanti, Om Shanti? You are confining the mind. It will help you to move into the calmness and the peace and the joy anytime once you understand. And the power to regulate. Power to regulate me here means the three stages of meditation. I have power to hold on to an object of meditation, and then I have a self absorption. That is what we do in our last step of meditation. I give you every step for a reason, and once I open up, you will realize, oh, this is how it is working. Now we have to see that through the intellect, we have to see, are we changing? My behavior and attitude have changed. So the mind becomes famous because of clarity. Famous not in social media. That is what I said. Do you find the changes? So that changes here means the fivefold changes. The intellect becomes famous. Why intellect becomes famous? You are living in self-awareness. You are not living in others' awareness. Self awareness, self oriented, other oriented. Oh, so you always remember that remembrance is there. So then what happens? Your intellect replaces emotional dependence to emotional freedom. You have a sense of emotional freedom, whatever the situation, condition, people, relationship are there. And then you have a recognition that the love, your emotion is within. I'm ready to become a contributor, not become a consumer. That very selfishness, because of the ego, because of the nine factors. Then what happens? Our intellect starts thinking that in what way I can be a contributor in this particular action in my life. Internally, emotionally, with love and care, you become a contributor. What are the other factors that will work? Remember the crow's adaptability and resourcefulness. Swan, the focus like a swan. Ability to return to alertness means satoguna, from the laziness. That is why the metaphor of the dog is given. The dog. Ability to sleep with alertness. It doesn't work. When you are in deep sleep, obviously there is no alertness. So we have to explain in a different way. And then measure diet. So we measure diet here means the diet, that any diet. You take a vegan diet and that you overeat. It becomes tamasic guna. So measure diet, we say, normally I will talk in detail, 4 parts of the belly, 2 parts we eat food, 1 part we keep it for water, and 1 part for the air. So that puts me into the state of satoguna, detached from the body, detached from the body. Also this is what, so now these are the initial steps of preparation for awakening, and awakening then through the meditation. So I picked up the 3 verses in the Gita from the chapter 6. First 5 chapters goes in a very detailed way of how to understand our suffering, why we should practice Eastern wisdom, what is the nature of the real self, how to think, speak, and act in the world. That is the meaning of karma yoga that we are going to take up, because it is very important to live. I'm living a personal, professional, social, and family life, and I'm engaged in action. So, what exactly is this action? How to perform this action? Have you understood one part? Because of our action, we get upset. Because of our action, we are into anxiety. Because of our action, we get frustrated. Have you seen that? If you don't do anything, there is no need to frustrate, getting frustrated. Do you see that? So all these aspects are explained until the chapter 5 of the Gita. What exactly is the karma? Karma yoga, we think as if it is, I have to perform particular action. No. So there, the definition of yoga is the attitude and intention inside my mind, and karma means the action. Attitude and intention in my mind to perform a particular action. So that I'm leaving it so that we will come up with that. So I directly picked up the 3 verses from the Gita to define meditation. Why? Krishna is the greatest of originator of the yoga. So it is better to take the highest text and explain it, and then we will return. Whereas, as long as we have those challenges. So now, whatever I have just spoken, and if you go through it, in the first verse of the Gita that I have taken, it says that binding desire or the world is suffering. Ashok, did you understand? Oh, Ashok is not there. Whether you say the world is suffering with the 9 factors, or you say the binding desire, or you say the selfishness, or you say the ego, this is the same thing. So whether you understand from the point of view of how the ego is working in me because of the binding. What is binding desire? Binding, it binds me. How it binds me? Because I'm attached. I'm obsessed with something. I have a desire to get obsessed. Need based desire has no problem. Need based desire. How can I live? How can I survive in the world? Huh? So, first part of the verse says that for those who are free from the binding desire, from the 9 factors, did you realize that, how I developed the each and every session? We have reached, now we can easily understand those 9 factors. Or I can say, Master Krishna is saying those who are free from these binding desires. So he uses only the one word, desire and agitation, desire and the stress. So when you have a desire, it is because, and a stress, it is because of the binding. How do I understand the binding? Go to the 9 factors. You have already understood that. So that is the first criteria for awakening. It doesn't mean that you are leaving the need based desire. It also means that you are not leaving anything, whatever you are doing in your personal, professional, social, and family life. But you have filtered the binding desire that causes the stress. Why? You are educating the mind. If you don't educate the mind, the meditation, higher meditation, will not succeed. Second part of the verse, he says, Yati nam yat chetasam. Are you in a satsang? Do you have a kind of a self-discipline? You have imposed a discipline. You wake up at Wake up every day and you have spared maybe half an hour or 1 hour for regular practice, regular listening. Why regular listening? We tend to forget these principles. Why we tend to forget these principles? Because the mind is still jumping outside. Mind is still attached at a subtler level. So that is the second. Yatinam yat chetasam avito brahma nirvanam. Now the intellect is very much clear. Clear about what? Clear about the real self. So we will understand the six attributes of the real self. Huh? What are the six attributes? So that we can hold on our mind to these six attributes. Vartate viditatmanam. So, what I start recognizing these six attributes are present all the time in my life, in different situations. So, intellect is preparing for our meditation. So, here the master is pointing out freedom from the binding desire. Do I have a sense of freedom from the binding desire? Do I experience that state? Our mind is still running to different places. A kind of self discipline is there. It demands a kind of a self discipline. Uh, and then I recognize through the intellect the omnipresence of the real self, uh, intellectual understanding. With that intellectual understanding, I guide the mind. Can you see here? Can you see the millions of waves in an ocean? Yes. Can you see it is one water holding it? So that is why the intellect needs that clarity. Do you see millions of houses in our country? All houses who has one essential element, whether it is a mansion, whether it is a single family home, whether it is, what other format, I think David knows much better. Uh, Space is an essence. So can my intellect hold on to that space? I get rid of the binding desire. So it is all more about our level of awareness. Oh, can I say how many people? 11, 12, all 12 people are together. So all these 12 people with a name in the form are the waves. What is the essence? That consciousness is the essence. So when the intellect contemplates and reflects like this, then your mind is already prepared for a higher meditation journey. So that is what the master is pointing out in this verse. So master says that who is a higher seeker? So a higher seeker who understands clearly what is the binding desire, the word is suffering. Ashok, I made it very clear. All those nine factors together is the binding desire. Or you can say the word is suffering. Or you can say the ego. Or you can say the selfishness. So who is a higher seeker? Free from the bind, relatively free. It takes the time. It takes time. So when you are relatively free from the binding desire, come what happens in the world outside around you, you are not disturbed. Do not hesitate. Live into that state of equanimity. So higher, if I use the word higher seeker, means self-discipline. Many people make it. So what is why how the self-discipline comes? Because of those factors which I have already explained you. Is this higher seeker does any kind of suppression? No, there is no suppression at all. So any point of time, if you find that we are suppressing ourselves, it is the play of the tamasic and the rajasic guna. You are going for a freedom. How can you suppress anything? You release it. You don't forcibly control it. You understand it. When you understand, you are clear. Can anyone become a higher seeker? Answer is yes. That is what we have been doing. Is being a higher seeker necessary for higher realization? Answer is big yes. That is our first part of the verse. I'm just giving you how to explain each part of the verse. Second part of the verse, if I see the second, who are free from, who is that guy who is free from this desire? A seeker. Well, who is a seeker? Who recognizes all those nine factors, who commits to, who commits. No, I don't have time, I'm very busy. While driving, you are contemplating. While walking, you are contemplating. Even sitting in the restroom, you can contemplate. It is possible. And if that is not possible, it means in the restroom you are thinking something, you come out, you go to the kitchen, you are thinking something, and you are attending the session, you're thinking, your thoughts takes you away. It will not work. It will not work. We need a very higher pinpointed awareness. Then only we can talk of choiceless awareness. Then only we can talk of mindfulness. Otherwise, we use the mindfulness as a pill. Oh, I let me relax. I'm mindful. No, it will not work. So one person asked me, is it possible to be completely free from the desire, binding desire? Answer is no, but you can minimize it. As you minimize it, you raise your bar of awareness. And that very higher awareness will help you to move further. Is it possible? No. But anytime, yes, after awakening, you are possible. It is possible. Awakening is just the other side of the binding desire. North Pole, South Pole. So in the beginning, we don't get frustrated. Even if we have, sometimes this binding desire enters, okay, let us treat it, recognize and treat it. And who have known the self. So Master is saying the higher seeker understands what exactly is the real self. Is the real self with the name and the form? Is no. But how can I recognize it? So first we will understand six attributes of the real self. Huh? Any tradition of Eastern wisdom, whether it's a Buddhism or Tantra or Mantra or Kundalini meditation, the essence is these six attributes of the real self. We will understand it from the Gita. We'll go back to the second chapter. So that is the third point. So once I hold on, I told you, I hold my intellect holds on to these six attributes of the real self. But at present, I am holding on my mind to freedom from the binding desire. Even after listening, don't you feel calm and relaxed? No, everything is gone. And when you contemplate and reflect, what is going to happen? Think of it. When you continue the practice regularly, what is going to happen? And the fourth part, that Brahman, the real self is also known as the Brahman, is ever present both here and hereafter. So I have to recognize and recognize that there is some entity which is independent of the body mind complex. Huh? In America, we use the word body mind complex. I've learned it. So, body mind complex, which is independent, which is free, which is ever present. So, if it is independent and free from the body mind complex, it means whether the body remains or dies, that real self will ever remain. That understanding, that realization, that experience is what we normally say, huh? Awakening. That is the beginning. That is the beginning of. Huh? So we will also understand in a different way in our next session that what a seeker does in meditation. That is, that is what I have been focusing on, that what a seeker does in meditation. So why we should know it? I should know it consciously. Why I'm driving on the highway and when I should take the right or the left, and I should know it. Otherwise, I will lose the way. And 99% people lose this way. What is that losing the way? Hallucinations, imaginations. So with then, because you have done the practices for many years and you have those hallucinative experiences, your mind is full of the binding desire. It does not want to leave those hallucinations. Your mind, because of the ego, claims, because of these practices, I have reached to this hallucinative experience. How can I leave it? To drop the binding desire is easy, but to drop those hallucinative and imaginative experiences after long years of the practice is damn difficult. And the people remain absorbed into those experiences, and then they get more frustrated in their life. So that is what needs to be. So let us start our journey. Eyes are closed, and eyes are closed. We will pick up how directly what a seeker does in meditation. Eyes are closed. So now I need not to go for. So I have already explained you the four parts of the verse. So I will use those words for clear understanding. Eyes are closed. Place. You instantly become aware of the space around you. And mentally, you are aware that I have to leave this space, I have to go inside. Going inside is a rise in awareness. We have not to think in a way that I'm going inside the body. So the place and being comfortable. Being comfortable, I told you, just look at one reference point. Look at the neck joint. Go deep inside the neck joint in order to explore the root of the neck joint. We are not doing anything to the neck joint, remember. So what we are asking if the mind continues to live within. What do you mean by living within? Be very clear. The mind is not running after any objects, any activities, any past impressions at all. What happens then? You have a sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Be carefree, carefree, free from the cares of the mind. Cares of the mind. Only the mind cares us all the time. You wake up in the morning since you sleep. You say, I have a stress, I'm fully busy. Who is saying this? Mind. Mind is carrying you. So being carefree from the mind, and then we don't forget Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. This mantra should your mind and the mantra should become one. It triggers you. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. At least you remember. Your mind leaves everything and you remind yourself, oh, happiness is the essence of the existence. And that is why I say, may there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Peace, good space. I told you many a times. So is the mind going into the good space or it is thinking, oh, that pasta gives me peace? You lost it. You lost everything. Oh, my honey gives me the peace. Or your mind says, my honey doesn't give me the peace. Any honey, honey means any relations, any person, nothing to do with the couple. So you see, you through the intellect, you are examining. Mind, are you moving in the right direction? Sarvesham, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. You are telling your mind that you are engaged in the binding, desire, anxiety, duality, conflict in relationship to the world outside. So, mantra says that there is something beyond you, beyond the mind, which is the real self of the nature of completeness. It is not seeking anything, it is not seeking the fulfillment of the craving. You are seeking. And I have that point of awareness. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. I enter into auspiciousness. I don't create auspiciousness. What is I enter into the house. I don't create the house to enter with it. I enter into the car. Are you getting it? So, but what is preventing me? Impurity of the mind. Nine factors. Binding desire. So when we, so you see that these are the passive steps which helps you to go deeper, continue to live within. So being, huh? Another point, in the 27 and 28th verse that we did not discuss today, but in that verse it says fixing the gaze between the eyebrows. So just contemplate and reflect. There should be a horizontal movement of the mind. First, there is a horizontal movement. It lays a strong foundation. And then we have a vertical rise in consciousness. Those who do not prepare themselves with a horizontal movement, then they are ready to face lot of hallucinations and imaginations in their journey. You cannot stop. So, what is this horizontal movement? You are aware of your house where you are sitting. Yes, become aware of your house. Become aware of the space around your body. You see the horizontal movement. Then you become aware of the body. You are moving horizontal. Highway, you are driving your car, it's a horizontal movement. You return to your house, horizontal movement. Make it very clear, logically. Oh, that is what we are doing. So your mind is moving horizontally from the space to the body, body to the breath. It's a horizontal movement. From the breath to the mind, from the mind to the intellect and the ego, and from the intellect and ego to you, you enter into a self-absorption in the last step. So you get some spark. spark of that real self. You feel the presence in the state of doing nothing, in the state of self-absorption. So we have to discover that spark, that presence, and that presence will take us to the higher vertical ascent of our mind. I think I'm making myself clear. I'll make it clear in other. That is one. So now, in that stage, we continue to purify the mind. Pranayama, today we will be doing pranayama and pratyahara together with the belly breathing. Remember, we are doing the pranayama that will accelerate the process of meditation. We are not doing the pranayama independently. That is explained in Hatha Yoga. So that is why it has nothing to do with fire of breath or breath of fire. So looking inside the forehead in the space, dropping Om Shanti gently, stillness in the body, and start breathing into the belly. Long in the hissing breath into the belly. What it indicates, as you inhale, the belly goes out. As you exhale, the belly goes in. Long, deep in the hiss. Continue. So when you start doing it, you will experience the changes in your experience. You accept those changes, but don't get upset. If you get upset, Rajoguna. If you are not getting upset, Satoguna. You start falling into sleep, Tamoguna. Tamo and the Rajoguna is not going to help you in achieving higher state of meditation. Continue. Continue doing, continue doing. I told you you're falling into sleep. So Tamoguna is taking over. So you just remember, oh, become aware. Oh, let me continue with the breathing. Ah, the breath rate changes. Ah, changes. That is also the act of the Rajoguna. You are able to maintain the rhythm. It is Satoguna. So we are consciously understanding. Continue, continue. Resistance, I told you. Is there any resistance? Recognize it. Your intellect will say, "My mind is not listening, and it is changing the breath." So the intellect recognizes, and the intellect says, "I will continue to do it." Resistance is is countered by endurance. What is endurance? Comes from the intellect. Where is that endurance in the intellect? It is kind of a self discipline. What is that self discipline? You are a higher seeker. So you are not suppressing, my friend. I've been telling you, the moment any suppression is there, you will miss. Only when you have done, understood the previous steps, it is very easy. Continue.
Mm, mm.
Resistance means tamo and the rajoguna. Satoguna is knowledge and clarity. So tamoguna just goes opposite. No, I will not do it. And still you do it, you start feeling sleepy. So there the endurance comes in the intellect. So let me continue, my friend. So you are consciously treating the mind. No suppression at all. How I will note your suppression? Your bodies will start fidgeting. Your eyeballs will start moving here and there. Because you are doing Om Shanti, your eyeballs will not move. It is naturally focused inside the forehead. And stop this breathing Om Shanti also. Let us go to the passive state of flow of the breath. You are aware of the flow of the breath. The intellect notices, recognizes the flow of the breath is equal or not equal. If it is not equal, you already know. You're paying attention to the flow of the breath, which is less. And within no time, few seconds, you will start realizing the flow of the breath becomes equal. We have to note another point here. You just look at the breath. How this breath naturally expands the belly. It is what we say. It is what we say normal breathing. I'm comparing the normal breathing with the habitual breathing. So many people breathe through their rib cage. Even the science says no, it should be belly breathing. They name it as a diaphragmatic breathing. I'm saying for the sake of understanding. Why we say it for the sake of understanding? You recognize it's the belly is going out and going in. And at the same time, you pay attention to the flow of the breath. You see that we do active step and we enter into the passive state. It's very important. Ultimately, highest passivity takes us to the higher consciousness. Now look at the horizontal movement of the mind. You look at the body, sensation is there, and it's a pleasing sensation, not causing any issue. Relaxation is also there in the body, but it is in the mind. Mind is recognized. Stillness in the body, horizontal. Why you want to be sure of horizontal movement to prevent yourself from any kind of hallucinations and imagination. And deeper inside, in that stillness in the body, horizontally you move. So it's okay if even if your mind says I'm moving inside the body. So inside the body, explore the sensation anywhere. Why your mind is able to recognize that it is living within. That is what we say sensation is calmness, and the space within the body is the state of quietness. Understand clearly, first there is a relaxation, then there is a stillness. In the stillness, the mind continues to have lot of thoughts, but still you are able to hold on. Calmness, these thoughts and past impressions are too far. And in the state of the quietness, thoughts are still there, but it's too far. As if you see five people are talking, but you don't know what they are talking, but you know they are talking. Recognize that quietness in the and now in that state, bring your mind back again to the nyasa, looking at the breath and start breathing deep, silent, slow. So as you inhale deep, silent, and slow, you move the mind from the top center of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Om Shanti without moving your lips and the tongue. We want to ensure that when the mind is singing non-verbally, it continues to stay within. And while exhaling, the mind moves from the tailbone to the top of the head. Shanti. You synchronize your singing with the deep silence, slow breathing, and the movement of the mind. Can I hold on my mind for a longer period within? Yes, there the nyasa comes. So all these steps are the stage two. And now leave this step also. In the stage three, we have a very subtle passive step, and then we even leave the passive step. What is that subtle passive step? You already know. You drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of a finger, whether it's a right or left, it doesn't matter. Om Shanti. So mind's eye, mind's ear, mind's touch, they all are working within the mind. So it gives you a clear sense what it means by living within. Horizontally, again horizontally. We already discussed in detail how to drop the Om Shanti depending on the mood of the mind and the state of the mind. Normally in Satoguna, it is extremely aware. Om Shanti. It takes a long time, but you don't act like this. Or even the Satoguna is Om Shanti, Om Shanti without any interruption. It is possible. So we are exploring the very state of the mind at this particular moment. And now leave it. Looking inside the cave of your heart, visualize the triangle of any color. You see, just for the sake of engaging the mind, I'm saying triangle of any color, and everything is okay. Pointing upward, moving the mind on a triangle, dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. When you find there is a sync, means your mind is totally freely doing it. That is the moment when you sing mentally. Now just opposite. You're pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. You recognize the mind seemingly stops. You drop Shanti and self-absorption. I already explained before. And then you stay in that state. Staying in that state means you did not create it. It is already there. The interference of the mind does not help me recognize and realize, and that is why we are doing the regular practice. Mm. Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Bring your hands down. We will share our experiences. How are you, Brandy?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm good. I was contemplating about filtering the binding desires from actual need, which is really applicable to me this week in the form of like literally a house, right? And thinking about also in the meditation, when going inside is not necessarily going inside the body, and even how those two things kind of connect. So I have a lot. I need to listen to this about 10 more times probably. But thank you. I was very relaxed during my meditation.
Beautiful. Your mind caught these two important points. Yes, yes. That has a very wrong notion we have, as if we are moving the mind within. It means that it is going within the body. So we have a very false notion about it. That is very important point. So the more you listen and contemplate and reflect. Very good. Very good. Thank you. So how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. I really enjoyed that lesson. So the metaphor for me after listening to that lesson is that the binding desire, it's kind of like if we did a factory reset on our computer, we would get rid of all the memory, but the underlying functionality, intellect of the computer is still there when we're done. But we're free and we go faster and more efficient. So for whatever reason, that was the metaphor I came up with. The meditation itself is extremely deep. I love the looking between the eyebrows. That horizontal was very, very deep. Thank you.
Beautiful. You rightly gave the good metaphor. Reset. When you reset, you are in anxiety, you are awfully busy, you are reacting to someone, you just reset and start contemplating. What to reset? Big binding desire hangs over mind. Hangs over mind. There is some bacteria or virus. That resetting is the particular thought guided by the feeling and the emotion is causing the trouble in you. From where it has come, from the 9 factors. So it's a wonderful, it's a good metaphor to use it. Anytime you are upset or anxious or your impure states of the mind is attacking you, you reset. Don't extend it. Don't start finding, what is anxiety. I saw in medical dictionary, there are 49 definitions. And 50th definition, the cause of the anxiety is unknown. Majority of, I'm not criticizing, but this is the fact. If you go to diagnose all these diseases, you will find it. The last point, they say the causes of this disease is still unknown. So we are not going there. We don't want to find. We are going into the elevation of our consciousness. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. For me, most of the time during the session and the meditation portion, I find the mind is trying to make sure that it understands. So I'm contemplating and I'm reflecting and I'm checking my attitude and intentions. And of just making sure that I was in alignment and seeing where maybe I was lapsed or something I could have understood or contributed better. Today, for whatever reason, the mind wasn't busy doing that. It was just deeply absorbed pretty much from the beginning. So I'm not sure if it was that horizontal movement that we did or what it was, but very absorbed, and the breath was equal, calm, peaceful, everything. So
Yes, yes. When we experience, you see, just think of when we experience you can say the relaxation, stillness in the body, calmness in the quietness. I explained calmness means the thoughts are too far, but still I recognize these are the crazy thoughts. But in quietness, I simply recognize the thoughts are there in the mind, but it is too far. It has nothing to do with me. It is still a horizontal movement. So all you have explained, it is basically a horizontal movement. So we bypass. As I come to your house, so I have to pass the Chandler, I have to pass the Mesa. So we are passing through the different horizontal horizontal layers of our existence. Then only we can move up. It is the same thing I've been explaining that I enter into the house, then only I can go to the second floor. Exceptions are there, so I'm not going there. But I'm using this metaphor for meditation, so no exceptions. So how are you, Barbara? Mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. You said many things today that bear contemplation, beautiful things. But there was one thing that you said in the beginning, that you should live in your own awareness and not other people's awareness. And that alone can give you a great sense of freedom.
Beautiful. That is one of the most important points. Once we live with it, am I self-oriented? Means I'm self-aware. And suddenly a thought comes, what the Barbara is doing? Oh, let me drop it at this moment. It is not required. You say it intellectually, and it keeps you self-oriented. That is one of the most important things in the entire summary. Beautifully said. Thank you. Terry, how are you?
Good. I'm contemplating on trying to understand
Good.
what is meant by the horizontal. So what you just said.
I come to your house by driving. It is horizontal movement. I move into my house. It is horizontal movement. Do you see that?
Yes, but
Huh?
in
I
the
go to
way,
the office. It is a horizontal movement.
uh,
So mind has to move. So that horizontal movement is preparing a very strong foundation so that we cannot fail what we want to achieve.
oh, so it has nothing to do with being inside of your body.
Yeah, it has
Nothing.
to do with inside of the body. There are many thoughts prompting me that I should speak out, but I'm holding on. I'll
Uh,
talk about it. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. I'm good. I also picked up this concept of horizontal and vertical movement from today's lecture. And as far as I understand, that horizontal movement has to do with everything that is non-real self, that everything that we have to change in this world, in ourselves, in our attitude, in our behavior, everything that pertains and has to do with the outside, or inside, but not that inside that is the core, but inside the mind, inside the body, and this kind of insight. And as far as vertical movement, that is what is the closest, as close as we can go to the real self. That is that is my understanding. And as far as the meditation, it was quite comfortable. Breathing was equal. There was awareness of dark space at the end. Some thoughts were coming and going and not disturbing me. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful meditation. I request you, you listen to what everyone shares the experiences. And every experience everyone has shared are very important. So why you listen to it and understand? Because it gives you a different perspective. And that perspective brings the clarity. And we need a clarity. Everyone has shared, every time you share good thing. So yes, you rightly said the horizontal movement, that I pick up and understand what is the non-self entities in a different level, in different categories. And the body is one, so body has a name in the form, and then we recognize through our awareness that whether I am the body or I am not the body. Then the body has a sense organs. When you go to the mind, it has an emotional content. Then we have to figure out whether it's a need-based desire or mind desires, or whether it is a binding desire or a craving. Binding desire leads to the craving. So you are moving horizontally means that you are just dropping those challenges which comes on the path of meditation. And vertical rise means now you find a new level of awareness, a new state of consciousness. So that is why kundalini symbolically says there are 7 psychic centers. So we are not going into those psychic centers. We are understanding with the knowledge, with the clarity. What is this first level of vertical rise, second level? What exactly it is? Can I really understand? Our masters have made it very clear. Beautifully said. So we have Christina has left. So we have Ashok. Yes. Oh, Ashok, Vaibhav, and Sangeeta. Yes, Ashok.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste. Namaste.
Sir, I am, sir, I am good and fine. And nowadays, I am contemplating on क्या बोलते हैं उसको contribution and consumption. Consumer.
And being.
Contribution and consumer.
अच्छा, एक
तो
बात बताओ, तुम कहाँ कौन से कमरे में कर रहे हो?
मैं सर ड्राइंग इसमें हूँ, अपने बेडरूम में हूँ, बेड पे हूँ इस समय.
और ये बेड पे हूँ, तो वहां पे तुम्हारी माई भी रहती है?
हाँ, माई भी रहती है. नहीं, माई तो रहती है, बट शी जस्ट हैव कम. मैं ध्यान में वो नहीं रहती है. ध्यान के टाइम में तो शी वाज इन द किचन. सॉरी, हमने वो किचन में है, तो अभी जस्ट आई है.
अच्छा, बातचीत के समय में वो रहती है?
बातचीत के समय में नहीं रहती वो, मतलब जस्ट आई है किसी काम से, अब चली जाएगी वो. मतलब मेरे को परेशानी नहीं है उससे ना, ऐसी कुछ आई गई, आना जाना चला रहा है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. तो नहीं, मैं ये कह रहा था कि जो जैसे कंज्यूमर और कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात है ना, कंज्यूमर और कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात है, तो वो मैं सोच रहा था आजकल कि जैसे मैंने ना पास में एक आश्रम है, चाहे वो दयानंद आश्रम है या कोई भी आश्रम है, तो मैंने उनका वाटर कूलर भी ठीक करा दिया. अभी कुछ पैसे लगे, छोटे मोटे जो भी लगे, मैंने आई कॉल्ड समवन और वो वाटर कूलर ठीक करा दिया. तो मतलब ये काइंड ऑफ यू कैन से कंज्यूम, सॉरी, कंट्रीब्यूटर का हुआ नहीं.
What Ashok is saying that there is a small monastery near his house, and there is a hot summer in Delhi also. So he contributed by repairing the air conditioning of that monastery. I think that, yeah, that's a good contribution. But we have to contribute. Their mindset has to be of a contributor, but also better that you become a contributor in your house with the near and the dear ones. That is more important than any other
ठीक है सर.
contribution.
हाँ जी, ठीक है,
Very
गॉट
good.
इट.
That's a good idea. And
Thank
you
you.
will discover by having such contribution, you will realize that your mind has started changing. Very good. Vaibhav, how are you?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good. Mind is calm. It's like similar understanding that when I'm moving the horizontally movement, then I'm breaking those barriers, like those delusions, which is coming in my way to this thing, see things clearly. So
Yeah.
once those gone, mind became clear and calm.
Yes. You have also contemplated with the horizontal movement as others have done. Pay more attention. I'm saying to everyone. So when what he says that when we do the horizontal movement, we find the delusion drops. Dennis and others have explained differently, but everyone makes a sense. So think of it. Yes, you are right. When you make a horizontal movement of mind, it drops your delusion. It makes you work through the subtle guna. I'm just hinting it. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था सर श्रीमद् भागवत गीता पढ़ रही हूँ आजकल तो कर्म का मतलब थोड़ा और समझना है जैसे आपने बताया आज
Aiga. She wants to understand the karma yoga, so we are moving towards what exactly is the karma yoga. According to the Gita, we are going to understand that. Yes, beautiful. That is all for today. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.